This is why I love reselling. It's the thrill of the hunt. It's you never know what you're going to find. We were at my very favorite community thrift store. We popped into Able Light Thrift. We were headed to go see our son, daughter-in-law, and grandson. We stopped to get crumble cookies in Minnetonka. And of course, if there's a thrift store right next door, I need to pop in. I wasn't there more than between 10 and 15 minutes. And I rounded the corner and saw this adorable vintage baby blanket. I paid $1.99, and I'll put up some screenshots of what some of them sold for. It's just simply the most fun way to earn extra money in retirement. Let me take you around the store. Able Light's located in Minnetonka, Minnesota. It is right near, there is the Crumble Cookies, right next door to Crumble Cookies and near Cub Foods on Highway 7 and 101. First thing I saw when I walked in is someone donated so many Fitz and Floyd pieces. How cute would that have been for Easter spring party? There were so many pieces on this end rack right as I walked into the hard goods. What I love about this store is it's clean, organized, so well stocked. It was being stocked when I was there. They have been around. They used to be known as Bethesda Thrift Store, and I think it was in 2022 that it became Able Light. It is, it's just, I once described it, I did a video, once described it as kind of like a hug, like a grandma hug. You walk in and I am a hard goods person through and through, and you walk into this great selection of really nice pieces and look at how beautiful their shelves are. It's just stacked with items that I think are really, really nice quality. Thrift stores and shopping secondhand just appeal to so many people lately with the prices that everything are nowadays. And if you're a collector, if you're a reseller, if you're trying to furnish your first home, look at the type of inventory that you get. I'm always amazed every time I've gone in. I might get to the store once every few months. Every time I go in, it feels like it's all been rotated through. And I say this every time, why not buy this way and get quality pieces than to go buy Target type brands, because there's just so much more personality in this type of way of shopping. Okay, one of these is $2.99, one $3.99. I bet if I brought that up, they would grant the price or honor the price of the lower one. But different prices, I don't quite know what that was used for. But look at all the glassware and crystal. If you get those out this way to shop, oh, there's more. There's more Fitz and Floyd on the other side of that end cap. If you get out this way and want to make a day of it, you should head over to Tonkadale Nursery, which is this amazing nursery and garden center located in the middle of a neighborhood, and then go to the general store. They are all within a few miles of each other. And if you want to have a really fun afternoon, head to Able Light, Tonkadale Nursery, and the general store. That would be my absolute perfect day. Maybe grab a cup of coffee, stop for lunch, grab your girlfriends. That would be a perfect way to spend the day. So as you're seeing me tip over these prices and look at the bottom, the mugs at the Goodwill are $2.99. Most every single mug was $1.99 here. And when you shop here, the proceeds from the sales go to programs and services for people with developmental disabilities or all disabilities. So you can volunteer here, you can shop here. Look at the inventory that they have. Their flatware is just 25 cents a piece. And I bet if you had some time to dig, you might be able to find some stainless. So it wasn't very crowded. I'm here on a Saturday. I have sold a lot of vintage salt and pepper shakers that I have picked up here. They have just a section for salt and pepper shakers. And I'm always still looking for Mackenzie Childs. I did a video on where I found two pieces. Doesn't that look like it? I'm looking at it again. I didn't see a mark at the bottom. I picked up two pieces of Mackenzie Childs pottery. One sold within 2 hours. The other one I do still have. That one I priced a little higher. It still appeared to be on their website, so I priced that a little bit higher, the second piece. But I have been looking for Mackenzie Childs since the whole time I have been a thrifter. So that was exciting. And I thought that piece kind of gave up off those same vibes. It's very almost childlike painted. So a lot of things look like Mackenzie Childs. But if you ever find that brand and go take a peek at that video, it was just sitting there and with everything else like this. So it's, you just, when, if you want to start out doing this, you use Google Lens. I've done a video on how I know what I have. Use Google Lens. I'm sure you probably have it right on your phone. And I will stop filming and I will take a photo or use Google Lens to take a photo and just see what it is I have, because some things strike me. Oh, remember? Everyone's mom had those. Some things appear to be a brand or a kind or a style, or maybe I'd heard of that or seen it, or it's beautiful, like this plate, and then there isn't many markings on the bottom. So what I do just by gut, some things I do know and know the brands, and some things you come across like that. How would you know? So I will stop recording and use Google Lens to take a picture of it. Oftentimes it will show me other listings on eBay. And again, it doesn't matter what people list it for, it matters what it's sold for. And so you can't go by that, because I could list all of my items for anything I want to. And just because it's sentimental and just because it was your mother's or just because you got it as a wedding gift doesn't mean that other people will find that same value in this item. My husband has a really hard time with that. He is sentimentally attached to all of his things. And I am not attached to many of my things, only if it pertains to our family or our kids when they were little. Then I get attached. But it doesn't matter what you think it's worth. I'm doing some consignment shop or consignment selling for a friend of mine that she just had some artifacts from Alaska that she had inherited, and she's doing a lot of the work. I talked about that. Talked about that in another video as well. It's going well, but we've had to lower her prices. There were some things that sold right away that people deemed valuable, and other pieces people didn't deem valuable. I'm taking a percentage of that. She's, like I said, doing a lot of the work for me, the keeping track of the money and all. So consignment's another way to get inventory if you're interested in reselling. But what I was getting at is that people don't understand that other people don't find the same emotional value that you find. Oh, I have collected these vintage Santas at church rummage sales and the Goodwill outlet. I've done my entire basement in these old fashioned, old world Santas, and I find them all the time at the thrift. This was a good place to poke around in. I said I had, like, literally, we walked in for 10 minutes. But vintage Christmas ornaments, what I like about this store is they have holiday up all the time. They had a row of Easter and a row of Halloween and a ton of Christmas. It's just kind of fun to shop. And I know I don't know why other stores, probably for the lack of space. Look at how much, that's just their Christmas linens. This store is huge. I'm sure it must be for lack of space that the others don't leave their merchandise out all the time. But that's another real treat about this store. Look at how organized. And I found out that the volunteers have different sections here. They're responsible for different sections of the store. I'd asked a question of someone putting something away once, and she said this wasn't my section. She helped me get to the right person. But oh, I have sold a lot of Christmas stockings. You see me looking at the backs to see if I could see who made that. Vintage Christmas stocking holders can do very well on the resale market. So they have their own little space and their own little area. And look at how lovely everything is displayed. They have so much. We've donated, when I was going through my mom's items when she moved into assisted living. She had so many things, and this is where I brought the majority of her items. It's not as close as several Goodwills to me, but I love this store, and I knew that somebody would love my mom's things. There were many things that I was able to sell of hers. Being a reseller when you're moving or moving someone else. But you remember these plates from Dayton's? Do you, everyone I knew, so many of my girlfriends had those Christmas plates back like in the 90s. Everywhere time you'd go to brunch or to go over to someone's house for dinner, at Christmas time, they all had those plates. I love this store. I'm always going to love this store. I'm so thankful that I am so close and that this store is on my way to so many other things that Brian and I, when we're running errands or heading to our kids' place, we always tend to stop here. So I'll make a special trip to come over this way because look at, I mean, the furniture, and my mom needed some mobility devices. They even have that in the back of the store. I couldn't get around to show you. I'm trying to just show you the depth of the items that they have, but then they pulled out these singular Christmas ornaments, but then they bagged some of them. So if you're looking to get your tree fluffed up, I had back in the day, I had three different trees on all three levels of our home. I had a Northwoods one in the basement, and I had kind of a girly, pretty one on the main floor. And then I had our kids make Christmas ornaments for me every year, one a year, and I would date them. And so we had the kids' tree on the third level. I didn't grow up having a Christmas tree, so I kind of made up for it later on. But what a place to go if you like have a themed tree. This was a whole Barbie section and all of this clothing for dolls. They had what a fun little thing. I know vintage Barbie. One of the first things I sold was some of my vintage Barbie clothing. I wish I would have understood the value because I know I did not make the kind of profit that I could have, but boy, did that go fast. That little pink case with the little silver buckle. But there's the clothing area. So I'm heading down the aisle where I round the corner and find that gorgeous baby blanket. This is what makes it so much fun. You turn the corner and literally that kind of stopped me in my tracks. Look how cute that is. So what a fun find just to pop into a thrift store for a couple minutes and walk out with this cute blanket.